It's lunchtime, and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from Studio A in the heart of Delray Gallery, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, a movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free at 888-565-1470 right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
And welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe. Welcome on a beautiful, what is it, Friday?
I still hear music playing.
I know.
That's because it's playing on your phone.
It's Friday.
It is a fun, funky Friday at the Brooklyn Cafe, and there you have it.
Well, you got ears like a...
Like a 52-year-old. Approaching that 53 number is all I can tell
Okay,
you.
who moved my stuff? Why is my stuff moved? Why are you moving my stuff?
Well, I cleaned a little bit yesterday. I was here a little bit, so I cleaned a little bit yesterday is all I can say. Happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday to you.
I got to tell you, it has been a week. A lot of moving parts, a lot of things moving and changing. As you can see, you'll see on our next shot, we have changed our setup. We have a new artist that is joining us here at our AMP2 New Dawn Media Studios. We've got Mary Marabito with us. So you'll see all of these amazing pictures. And we've moved our Desi and Lucy across, so we get to see that all the time. The beautiful pencil work by Jay Harmon. And more to come. Michelle Cancro is going to be joining us next week and hanging her artwork and some other great artists. So when you come visit our studio, everything's going to be fluid and moving because it's all about moving energy for the better and keeping things going forward and creating. And next Friday, we also have artists with autism coming. So I'm excited to have them joining us next Friday as well.
You know, what I wanted to do today, I wanted to play a little song.
Okay.
Remember when Miss America won the pageant?
Yes.
I wanted to put that music in there. I just didn't have enough hands once again today.
I'm really hoping that once Teddy's feeling better and everyone's family leaves after the holidays, we're back on a full crew next week. It's fingers crossed. That's what's going to happen.
Now,
I'm
nobody
putting it out in the
seems to
universe.
ask me why I wanted to do Miss America.
Well, I know why.
Nobody
I'm
wants to
gonna
know.
let
You know
share.
why? You know why?
Why would you like to play Miss America, Freddie?
We have a winner of the Miss America pageant in studio today.
We do, and who would that be?
That would be, hey, how are you, Mary?
Hello, everyone.
Miss America, yes?
Mrs. America
Mrs.
Beauty
America
Pageant.
Beauty
Yeah.
Mrs. America
I was,
Beauty
I was
Pageant.
38 when I was in it.
Yeah, yesterday.
I'm just a few days after that.
That's right.
Mrs. America, what even made you join Mrs. America?
A lifetime of being in fashion and beauty, and when I wasn't teaching modeling. So it was really an encouragement when I was teaching art in the city of Boston that the newspapers would be spread on the table for art, and it said Mrs. America is a Massachusetts grandmother. And that's when I first found out there was such a thing as older women's beauty pageants. And when I proposed it to my husband, he was like, yes, you're in, I'm going to go with you and help you in every way.
How long was that process?
Well, it takes a year from the time you start, and then it's a lot of, once you're established that you're going to be in it, just as a contestant of 50 other girls, statewide, then you work for it. You go to the gym and you eat right and you exercise and you buy a lot of fancy clothes.
That sounds pretty fun to me.
And it
then
was.
You learn how to wave?
It was a lot.
Is it the wave like this? How do you wave?
That's just teasing. I
That's
have
not a
no
real wave?
particular way, but you just want to respond to the audience.
When I used to go by her studio, I used to go there.
Yeah, right.
It's
He
the
did.
wave,
He
but
did.
What time
it's
is
the
it, the wave?
tricep issue that we have as women with
Is
the
that what you're
wave.
doing? You're exercising the tricep?
No, it's not. You gotta tighten it, otherwise it jiggles. Is what I think.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just a thing I have.
Now, I gotta ask, when you win a pageant,
Yes.
I don't care what pageant it is.
Yes.
You win a pageant. What happens the day after you start wearing the crown? What do? You do what
Well,
kind of work?
you are involved in different events that the whole organization sets up for you once you get to the next level. So if you win, then there are pageants, there are parades, like go to car openings and
Car
lay over a car in a fancy
Like,
dress.
yeah,
You
just lay
wear your
yourself
banner
out.
and you're on TV a little bit, interviewed by the local channel that was the participant in the pageant. So in my case, it was ABC. So there
A
was
little affiliate.
which was
ABC,
wonderful. And
TBC.
the same year that I was there, like after the pageant was over, they wanted me to do some kind of a talk show on Valentine's Day. They just want a celebrity, and it was fine because I was still teaching full time. I would take a half a day off of school in full makeup and come back in a long dress and finish teaching.
You're kidding. So
Yeah.
after you
Teaching.
won, you were still teaching?
I was still
You
teaching
were
all
teaching
the time.
modeling?
No, I was teaching art, junior high art in the city of Boston. I had 30 to 40 kids every class.
And nobody said nothing knowing that you
Oh
won?
yeah, everybody was happy. They were like
You came in with the crown?
They were treating me like an aunt or their mother or somebody that they were happy for, but it didn't change anything with us.
Really?
Our dynamic, no. They were just like, okay.
Freddie loves that you were Mrs. America.
Hey,
So-
listen, I get to rub shoulders with
Yeah,
somebody.
well,
How
it
many
was
people
fun.
you know that won any America?
Mrs.
It was
America.
fun.
I know you know people that came from America. I mean, come on.
And then the year I was there, it was the first time when Gorbachev in Russia opened up or let down the Iron Curtain, so we had a Mrs. Moscow. And ultimately she won the nationals, the internationals. Because after you go to the nationals, then you go to the international.
Well,
the
that was
winner.
fixed, because,
You almost would think so, but I can't say for sure.
I have to tell you.
Yeah.
She
They
could have
must
looked like a
gotten to
kangaroo.
somebody's
She would have won
emails,
anyway.
That's all I can say.
What?
They must have gotten to someone's emails. I don't know. We don't do
Bada
politics. I
boof.
know. Bada boom.
That
all I can
didn't
tell ya.
make it too well. But great. And then you got into works of art.
Well, I was always in art. You see, when I was in high school, I used to do modeling, and I was in beauty pageants back then. Just because if you're in modeling, the agent will send you to some, location to get a interview. And I can speak well from being a teacher, so I have no problem in that category.
But then you love the water.
Right,
You
right.
know, I got to see her do that one.
That's right.
I remember that one from its inception. I saw that when it was just a canvas.
That's right.
And I think that one in the frame I got to see when it was a canvas.
Yes, you're right.
Really?
He keeps an eye on my work. We were in
You
the
got
other
a good
gallery.
memory.
He watches what I do, and I don't have on here the one that you like that
Yes.
reminded you of Puerto Rico.
Yes.
He said, that looks just like the way I grew up on the water.
So maybe we'll bring that one in
Yes,
as well.
I will.
You know, the amazing thing about art is the reflection of her work. Reflection on the
It's
water.
what I like the best.
Man, but that's
Yeah.
not easy to do. I mean, that looks like, look
Yeah,
at
you're
that
right.
piece. That reflection
It's amazing.
is amazing.
Yep.
Refraction is always a little bit darker than the real thing, even if the sun is shining on it, and a little bit longer than the real thing, which is interesting.
Yes.
But I love reflections. I try to put reflections in things. That's what this painting was all about. It really was, the kids were out there, having a sailing school lesson, which they were all mumble jumble, which the title is Sailing School Tangle, because it really was convoluted, and some kids were bullying others and teasing others, and I got a kick out of it. But it was the shadows and the reflections that I liked the best.
But is this something that you saw in real life and
Yes,
painted?
Yeah.
yes.
You gotta be fast.
I don't want to interrupt you. Faster.
But isn't it amazing?
All of them are real life, every single one.
Your brain works like a camera.
It is. I'm a visual learner. I can remember everything I see.
So do
That's
you
the
remember the
amazing
lotto
thing.
numbers from 1920?
I'm really, really bad in math. My brother said, don't
course
even
you-
talk to me about numbers, because every time I mention a price, I screw it up.
But here's the amazing thing is, you're from Boston, obviously Mrs. America of Massachusetts. And everything you're so representative of your
Realism.
history in your life, because
True.
You know you're not from Florida if you're painting these sailboats.
But this is because I had just come down here 2 years ago permanently and only gotten involved in a gallery 6 months ago. So I had sold most of my Boston work on the internet before I moved, and I needed stuff, and I needed large canvases, and I needed, things that represented the water to me because it's Delray Beach. So you're right, I'm transitioning. I'm actually transitioning out of realism into I would call it transition paintings, because I'm not as realistic. I'm more colorful than the real deal and larger. And so as you see my work evolve, it's going to be still water-based and reflection-based, but it's not going to be as realistic.
Changing the whole concept.
Well, you move on. The things you did a while ago, you just keep going. You can't stay stagnant. And things, every day a new experience happens. Like I went on the British Virgin Islands tour, and I took a ton of pictures with my stupid little iPod. Didn't even bring my real camera because I didn't want salt water to get in it. And I made a little movie. And most of my friends that were in it are in my movie, but most of the pictures are the landscape of British Virgin Islands. Like each island has its own unique details, and I can't wait to go back and paint them.
I love what you've painted, because for us, the set's always beautiful, but when it changes the energy of the set. And where our eye gets to go is now we see in front of us, that was behind us, and all the blues now. And the blues are just calming. And my daughter said, Mom, there is no one as cluttered in your mind as you except for Freddie. And that's what I love about working with you, is because as much as I filled the space, you want to fill more.
You see how in front of her she has nothing but
Not
coffee?
really, because I've got all
You
of
see
these
the clutter?
papers.
I tried to move these stones the other day, and she screamed at me, "No, you can't do that."
And I love, and the walls over there, I wanted to hang beads, and you're ready to hang another curtain. But I love looking over and seeing the water. And you and I talk about all the time that water is energy, and the energy of the movement. And if you can't physically be near water, if you can imagine being near water and the calmness and the stories that all of these bring.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's the other
I
unique
could tell
thing.
you each one and where it was originated and what gave me the idea. In fact, this one, the sunlight was like late afternoon, evening, and I was tempted where the sun was hitting the very corner on the stern of that boat to put gold. One of the artists in the gallery had gold sheet pieces, and I thought, gee, I should put some gold hanging down for that, because it was that bright a sunlight hitting the varnished wood.
Do you sail?
I do not sail. I mostly only have been on power boats all my life. But sailboats are so romantic, and I like to put them in the water.
It's the romance. And what about the other one with these water caps? Are amazing.
That is my ode to Delray Beach, because I wanted to do something that showed a beach. And so I went over there and I grabbed the sand, and I'm working on another one at home that has sand and seashells in the bottom. And I just, this is a beach community. This is where and I've had girlfriends that bought new houses that want large canvases with beach scenes with people in it, and, blankets and towels and umbrellas. So that might be a new direction that I'm going into. It's always more than one direction.
What's it feel like to evolve from being an art teacher? I only ask because my daughter's an art teacher.
Oh, okay.
She's an elementary art teacher.
Oh, good.
And there was this poll when she went to school about being an artist, but then she never wanted to sell her work.
Yes, they don't even teach you about sales when I went to school.
At my house, because she no longer lives with me, is filled with her old artwork.
Uh-huh.
And she doesn't want to use it anymore because she doesn't like it.
She
So what do you do with
evolved.
all of these old things that are now sitting in the closet?
It's hard. Sometimes you
There
give
you
them
go.
away to friends and family, but it's also a valid idea to sell them on the internet.
So we have that, and then the evolution of then you go to teaching because
Well,
you don't want to sell, but you've done
No,
it all.
it didn't happen for me that way. It started that I was always interested in taking care of children. I was a babysitter. It was my way of getting out of the house more than one night a week. And so I always took care of children. That was my thing. I loved children. And my mother was worried for me that I couldn't find a career, and I thought, I'm pretty good in art, but I didn't even know there was such a thing as teaching art in an elementary public school, because I went to all private Catholic schools. So when it became an idea that I could actually get a career and be a teacher that involved children and the thing I loved, which is art, it worked out beautifully. I was really fortunate.
I'm just looking around, and
Yeah.
I just love the view. I love the art that we have hanging here.
You love the art. Well, you're an artist yourself. You talk about your daughter, but she
It's
can
just
draw and
the
such.
color, and I think color makes people feel.
That may be why she's so excited right now.
That's what it is. Well, no,
I
art,
love color.
It's a change of energy that we have. We
Right.
do this every day, and,
Right,
and
right.
it changes your whole
Right.
sphere.
It does, and you get to where you sit, you see all of it.
I do. And I also want to remind everybody that's watching the show today that all the art is for sale. It's not a set design, it is for sale. And
It
I
is.
understand that Michelle sold a couple of pieces in the other room
Mm-hmm.
because my DJ cohort over here put it up on the cameras and it sort of went.
Great, well.
Some of the art behind you that you did on that show sold. So everything you see here, we will quote you. She's here. Whatever you want, you can come down and visit. And they'll even take it to your house to see how it
That's right,
fits.
definitely.
And it's just an evolution. You'll see everything. And next week we have artists with autism coming on the show, and that's actually one of their paintings hanging up
Oh,
over there.
nice.
So people look, and part of our vision is just to bring the arts forward to in our little home, our cubby hole. And always I wanted to bring kids on, and hopefully we can make a wall for the kids, whether with autism or not, and spotlight these kids that we're working with.
That's
The mini mitzvahs, the kids network.
Yeah, I was working on that spot yesterday. It's amazing. It has music and everything. They have a whole thing going on there. I wanted to ask you, Mary, when you finish a creation
Yes,
and then you start another.
yes.
Like in music, you ever notice if you do a hit song,
See,
they sort of copycat that hit song to the next music because
There is,
they
if you
played it
put
so
them,
much.
like, there's a similarity here. But by the time I'm 3/4 of the way done on the canvas that I'm working on, I've already got the new one in mind.
So you already know what you're going to
Oh
be doing
yeah,
next?
because they take a while, especially the larger canvases. So I've already achieved it. Now I just have to put in the details and finish it. But the new one I'm going to do is my more excitement is going to the next, Even now, as I was sitting waiting to go on, I was looking at some pictures in my iPhone, and I thought, yeah, I want to do that. Yeah, I want to do that, and I'll start it right here in the gallery
You
behind.
just start making it happen.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite? I can't even say piece. Do you have a favorite vision as to the way you see it? I'm looking at you. We're looking at the boat. We're looking at the ocean in this direction. You ever done it from the ocean looking into land?
Yes, and on boats, if you take a picture from the water side and face towards the shoreline, that's like one of my next new ones I'm going to do. That's on my
I
list.
like that.
and how big
Yes.
is the next
Oh,
one?
that'll be for my girlfriend. It's going to be 4 feet by 6 feet.
Is- wow.
She needs a big wall. These homes have big walls.
big walls.
And I like to paint. When I was a teacher, I used to do theater design. It was nothing to do a background for a play that was 30 feet by 60. That's what you do, and glue all this mural paper together and lay it out on the floor and roll it up and hang it up.
Look at that gallery behind, as you call it.
Well, I
Needs
said
some set
yes.
design.
Yeah, that's right. I still think in terms of the word gallery when it's really a studio.
Whatever we want to call it, DJ calls it Studio W for warehouse. We can call it the park. We can call it anything we want, but
Yeah.
it's set design. I love bringing all the creative minds together
Mhm.
because everyone gets to bring a piece of them forward.
When I lived in New York City, everybody went to the village,
Sure.
and you had to find a piece of concrete. This is the way it went.
Which was a blank slate
That's right.
to
And
make
they-
some graffiti.
That's right. Well, whatever they had to sell, like your daughter, she would go down to the village. And it didn't matter if it was winter, spring, or fall. You go to the village and you put it out there, you come home, you sell. But you're making deals.
Yeah.
This is 30, that's 90, that's 20, that's 2,000. You're making
Buy
deals.
2, you get 1 for free.
That's right.
Just
And a
gotta
cup of
move
coffee.
It. Just got to move it.
So in the day, and my sister tells me it hasn't changed, now Soho,
Oh yes, big.
they do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the artists actually go out and they sell their stuff. Like your daughter has all this stuff, she should be selling
I've
it.
got closets full
But
of
there's no
paintings.
village here in Florida, right? You
Right.
can't go to Miami. There's
Should
no.
we create one?
I mean, that's the concept
Should we
that
roll
I.
up the bay door and create one?
Oh, look who's here. You gonna
We
let us
wonder
know?
where you were, lady.
You gonna let us know you were here?
She's
I
hiding.
was taking a live video, inviting all my friends to watch.
Okay, well, you could do that and let us know you're here. But the object of the aim is that we, if you can do the village, and you make the theme park, make it the village.
I always wonder what you did with the old paintings. We talked to Amy Reshevsky the other day, and she's taken some of her old ones, and she's cut them up.
I know
and now
artists
she's
that do
making murals and new paintings out of the old paintings, so repurposing them. She's going to bring some of them here as well. She's got a butterfly man. And
some of the most famous painters in the world did that, didn't they?
Well, even like when Monet died, and the work that is now being presented as his finished work, his final work, they were his, in my opinion, lesser quality canvases. And some of them were very large, but he was so old. He wasn't to the level he was when he was hitting the mark. But, you know, a lot of artists have closets full of their old work.
Are people looking for different things in art as you've evolved? Do you see the need?
Down here in Florida, there's a very contemporary blend. I mean, with Art Basel, and just here in Boca, the Boca Arts is so modern, contemporary, really transitional. Like, my work is still theoretically realism, because I like light and shadow and daylight. I like to paint in the sun. I like to paint outdoors. Most of these were not painted outdoors, but a small version of them was. So I still have the sketch, so to speak, the oil sketch of what I started.
Do you use oils, or you?
Sometimes oils, sometimes acrylics.
And what's the difference?
Well, water and oil, but if I use acrylic, it's because I've got a huge canvas and I've got to get the color on to get a start, but I will finish it in oil. You can put what they call fat on top of lean. Acrylic being water is lean and fat is oil. So you can't do the reverse. You can't start in oil and finish in acrylic. It'll flake off. But I still have a preference for oil because it blends nicely. You can hold the colors on your palette. You can even, you don't have to remix it every 10 minutes like you do in acrylic to get the same exact shade. Sometimes you use 10 or 11 dots of color to make a certain shade, and if you don't have it saved, you're at a loss because you didn't write it all down. You're just mixing it in.
You have to write it down?
No, you don't write it all down. That's why I like oil.
That's what I'm thinking. Freddie and I, we would do 10 or 11 dots. We'd run out, and then we'd try and create them. Well, let's add another color. It would be totally different, and we would use that color.
I didn't even know there was a thing of dots.
Not dots, just paintbrush strokes
I
into
just
the
put
mix.
the paintbrush in the
It's like
jar.
making Russian dressing.
No,
Some
everything
days
has
got
to
more
be
mayo, some days
everything
more
has to
ketchup.
be blended. Everything has to have lights and darks. It has to have cool and warms, or it's a harsh color.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So if you're going to do blue, the complement is orange. So there has to be some. As a matter of fact, you can kind of see it on the horizon of that canvas. It's a peach color. And that's coming through, and it's even probably coming through in other places that isn't completely covered, like on the grass. So that little bit of warmth is keeping the blue from being too harsh.
And you've got some other paintings that are be coming in next week?
I do. I have more. I have a lot. I'm a fast painter.
So everything that you see here on set and you'll see in our studio is available for sale. Mary's also available to commission other pieces.
That's right.
And you can find her website or your information where?
Well, my website is my name, marymarabito.com. And my email is my name, marymarabito@me.com.
I love the way that looks.
So either way.
Hey, you got it.
DJ, we're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, Mary's going to stay. Mary's going out to do her thing.
Yes, I am.
And we've got Andrea from Chum Slick. We've got some other guests in the studio.
Lots going
A
on.
lot of things going on. We're just breathing on this
Where
fun
are we?
Friday. We are live at our AMP2 TV studios in Boca Raton, 2400 Northwest Boca Raton Boulevard, Suite 13. We are still working on our signage, so it still says Little Pond Family Theater, but that is where we are. All of the space is an evolution, always growing, and our doors are always open to everyone. So come on out, have a cup of coffee, say hello, and we will be, ready, DJ? Right back.
Has that special ingredient, that little bit of adventure in a bottle to take your dinner to the next level. So take a leap and try one of Don Pablo's fresh roasted specialty coffee meat rubs on your beef, chicken, or pork. You'll never go back to boring again. Go ahead, rub it on your meat.
Dr. Lee of Boca Raton Acupuncture Clinic with the PhD in neuroscience. Her practice in acupuncture helps hormone balancing, total relaxation, diabetes, and inflammation. For additional questions or to schedule a free consultation, call Boca Raton Acupuncture Clinic at 617-817-1910. Acupuncture and Chinese herbs are very effective in treating many ailments and diseases and have been used for thousands of years in China. Call today for your free consultation at 617-817-1910.
What we're really excited about with this new part of the reef is to see what happens with the animals moving from one side to the other and what the growth will be from 10 years worth of mature corals and sponges and things, and what the movement will be onto the new reef.
And we're back.
And we are back at the Brooklyn Cafe TV. On our last segment, we had Mary Marabito with us, one of the new artists that is joining us and decorating
That's her
our
last
set.
name?
Is
Is
or
it?
Mrs. America.
Mrs.
Just
America.
tighten the tricep when you wave, ladies, is all I can tell you. That would be my tip of the day. Tip of the day. What's
Yes.
your tip of the day? Mine is tighten the triceps.
Mine says, hey, Jay Harmon, how you doing? Hope your wife is doing well. I'm going to give you a call in a little while. And we have distributed your pieces throughout the theater. So come on down, because we want to talk to you a little bit. Hope everything with the family as well. We'll talk to you in a little while.
Yes, come on down, Jay, because now Lucy and Desi are facing us right under our Brooklyn Cafe Show logo. And we have our other pieces between the two red drapes on the theater side.
I know. How'd that look?
I haven't seen it hung, I don't know. But I saw it held up and it looked amazing. So your whole red theater scheme is amazing.
Isn't it amazing when I come up with these ideas?
It's amazing how all of this keeps coming together. I have to tell you, it's like when your chocolate meets my peanut butter, you have a creation. That's all I can tell you.
I remember that commercial.
But all the pieces you see here in the theater, in the studio, in the warehouse, whatever you want to call where it's a magical place that we get to show up every day to, everything is for sale and we can give you prices. All you have to do is give us a call or write in, 888-994-4995. And next week, our crew will be back in full swing. Bob Feldman is joining us on the next set, so we got a lot to chit-chat about.
Bob, have a seat. Relax. Take it easy. Take a load off.
We can move a mic. We can do all kinds of things. We can set you up. Tiffany, can you help these gentlemen as well, please? We've got Andrea Ashley of Chum Slick, make sure we say it correctly. And we've got Andrew, who is a new friend of Tiffany's. That Tiffany finds people, and he's in production.
Yes.
And podcasting.
Yeah, it's mainly film. I'm with NXG Productions. It's something that we've been working on for the last couple of years. We just got finished working on a web series last year, over the last 3 months during the summer. It's been a really, really long, strenuous, stressful year, but this is gonna be pretty big for us.
What are you working on?
We're like I said, we're working on a web series. We're working on short films. We have Production 101 happening in February 22nd, I believe. Yes, February 22nd, in which there's so many people down here that are genuinely just trying to work on film. They just don't know where to start. So we're trying to get a workshop started. It's basically a huge TED Talk that leads into just an entire rundown of what you really need to do for film, the pre-production, trying to write
Sounded like
scripts.
somebody just called in about it already.
Yeah,
So
no,
excited.
I would love to end up answering any questions about it. But it's going to be happening February 22nd. Anyone who's interested, anyone who really genuinely wants to learn film, that actually genuinely really has a passion for it.
How'd you get involved in film?
It's honestly a huge portion of my life. The arts have always been there. My life has had a lot of ups and downs, and one of the main things that has helped me kind of make it through is just music and film. Music is something that I do personally, but film is just something that I think that if people actually have the lens, actually have a picture of someone that is going through some of the things that they're going through, it helps them actually make it through those hard times.
Absolutely.
So much better.
Do you see things through a lens and a camera when you look at life? And I think of the artist, because when Mary's here talking about, she remembers things, and that's how she creates it on canvas. When you're looking at something, is it with a different eye through a lens?
Yeah, in a weird way. I've only really talked to 2 separate people about this. It's I tend to look at things look at the past through a really weird film grain. It's like a 70s blaxploitation film. Every now and then I'll be looking at it, and there's certain things that I'll remember, and those things kind of influence what I tend to write about.
Sure.
It's one of those things in which there's so many things that people just don't think are true, that are kind of fantastical, that are kind of crazy out there, but these are real things, and they're happening to real people. So one of the main things that I just tend to see in my life is kind of, now that I've kind of gone through my own traumas, my own issues with mental health and mental illness, it's just a matter of trying to remember that and try and put it in a better light,
Changing the perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
It's important also that you touch. How long have you been in the film industry?
Technically, I've been in the film industry since high school, but that's mainly just stuff that I've been doing. I've been off and on just working on whatever short films, local projects that are around. Everyone who I tend to meet, if they actually have a genuine passion, I'm always down to help, whether that's for no money, little money, or whatever.
Excellent.
It's really, it's a community. The more and more you're around people, they need support.
That's why I think what we get to do is so amazing, because we get to hear the stories that you get to put on film, and you document it visually. We get to hear the stories, because I think so
Absolutely.
much, and as we go into the new year, you never know what it is going on inside of someone. You look at them and you think everyone's got it together, or we prejudge based on how people look. You can't, because there's mental illness, there's things, there's family, there's children, and everyone holds this inside, and we get to hear about it. You get to take a look at it on the visual side. Mary gets to paint it in art, and this space just brings out all the creativity of everything.
Well, some of the greatest directors and writers in the history of filmmaking weren't all normal.
Absolutely.
They had some issues.
I agree.
And it just makes you that much above the rim when you're able to express what it is that you want to say through film. Now, sometimes you'll do a piece of creative work and you don't like it. because you didn't hit that, you didn't hit that note. And we always talk about hitting that note.
True.
And everybody will look at it and say, my goodness gracious, this is brilliant work. That body of work, forget about it. I want to buy it. I want to do this. And you're looking at it and says, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, that's one of the sad things about artists. I think that, and this is just a normal thing, we tend to be our own worst critics.
Sure.
So like
Yes.
every time we end up putting everything on the canvas, we're like, oh man, this is gonna be the one. And then probably a day later, not even maybe a day, maybe an hour later, you end up coming back on it and you're like, man, this is some crap. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. This is terrible. And then
Yeah, but it's probably amazing.
That's
You're
what I
just
was
being
about
your
to
worst
say,
critic.
you know? Yes.
That's the thing about it. The one thing I can tell people is once you end up getting it on the page, and that's really the big thing. It's just a matter of just getting it on the page. Once you get it on the page, allow yourself to take a step back, because there's definitely going to be people out there that love what you do, that actually see the value in it before you end up
Absolutely.
seeing all the negatives and start nitpicking and then start ripping everything apart. One of the first things I ever wrote, it was there's a story about this man named John Kennedy Toole. My screenwriting professor, shout outs to Frank Everling, told me about this story about a man who wrote 2 novels in his life. One of them being Confederacy of Dunces. I think the other one's the Neon Cathedral. Both of them came out posthumously, and every time, especially with Confederacy of Dunces, he was trying to put this book out, and publishers were telling him, hey, we love this book, it's perfect, it's fantastic, but there's 10 things you need to do about it before we end up putting it out. And it led him down a path of just insanity and drinking, and it led to his downfall. He didn't even get to see his published works get Pulitzers. This is a Pulitzer Prize winning author, and he didn't even get to see his books be published.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
When you hear the stories, and people are so intelligent, and people have such vision that sometimes I think what you and I get to do is just have fun, because it's incredible what minds can create.
It is.
Like what you do, advertising. Think about it. You bring so much. You always say to me, Freddie, the best books written are those that are read. So you can create a film, and you and I can create a show, but without you, Andrea and Ryan and Chumslick putting it out there, people don't find it. They don't know about it. And then it doesn't matter. It can all, like the art, it can all sit in a closet until we bring it forward.
That's true. Some of the greatest paintings didn't become great until they found out the story as to why they painted it.
Exactly.
And this is something that you do. You know, I always say that your end of the business is what brings life to his production, because it covers the masses.
Sure.
You know, the bigger and better. Now, how long have you been doing what you do?
So I've been in content creation since I actually started the dental field in 2001. So it's completely different being in the dental field and then just solely focusing on social media. But I've always fell into jobs where they have revamped. It's always a new doctor. They've revamped, which means they hired new staff. So basically, I've started out as help and then became office manager, self-taught. But when it came to advertising to save on money, I found out that I had a knack for it, and I could reach certain audiences that wanted to see whatever it was that we were offering, whether it's a specialty or just a general dentist. So basically, any business I can bring to life, like whatever your vision is. It takes a lot to figure out who your target audience is. And you'll be surprised to know that who you envision as your target audience isn't always your target audience. There's a whole nother slew of audiences that are out there looking at your business.
And when you ask people who's your target audience, they say everyone.
Yes.
But it's not everyone.
It's not everyone.
And,
Women. Well, it's not all women. It's not all children, right?
You'll be so surprised because everybody says word of mouth. Oh, I get all my referrals, word of mouth.
That's the cheapest way of doing it.
Now it is digital word of mouth. It's just, it's seeing a picture, it's seeing your name. That is word of mouth now. People pass along that information so quickly. So the industry is crazy, crazy growing, and it moves so fast, it's hard to keep up. But there's now Instagram, they took away likes, so they're testing it. Let me say that. So if I created something it's not about the outer beauty anymore. It's not about a girl's face or her body. Now it's about, what you're putting on to a small 1-by-1 post about your business. So either people can like it or not. Before it was really vain, and of course the blonde-headed, blue-eyed, girls, they were the ones that got the most looks. So now it's opened the field for just true creativity. Whatever business can come up with, whatever type of vision they want to explore and get across to their audience, that's what they're doing now.
It's more about the written than the visual.
I am
of the
almost
picture.
in favor of taking away the likes, because I found out a whole lot about the likes were just girls. It was mainly females, blonde, light-eyed, and so when you came to advertise a certain business, sometimes it would be hard. Dentistry, for one. Nobody likes to go to the dental office, so you were limited on some of the stuff you showed except for before and afters. They took away likes. We found out that all of a sudden there's a whole different audience that they're looking at the before and afters, and it's not based on just being in a bikini and, oh, you look cute, you fit the standard check.
Yeah, but it's even bigger than that. They got found out because, once again, I think it's Facebook that owns Instagram.
Yes.
They were suppressing likes. And they were doing it on purpose so that you would take out advertisement.
Yes, absolutely.
So because they had to cover up that because somebody squealed on them, they said, no, we're doing away with it. So, the business, it's really interesting about business. If you've been doing this long enough through the decades, through the years, things change, but they really stay the same.
Same, always.
And the bottom line, what's happening in the industry right now is that everybody's looking for a niche product.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be able to sell something that is witty and intelligent, and it has meaning. And we talk about movie of the year last year. What was the movie of the year that you considered
Your
movie of the
favorite
year?
movie,
What was your
right.
favorite movie?
Ooh, that's a good question.
really
I'm
good.
pretty disconnected, so I probably shouldn't answer that.
Yeah, you
Andrew, what was
should.
your favorite movie?
Man, I saw plenty of them. Joker's up there. A lot of people tend to put
Did you see that?
put Joker as number one. Queen and Slim, I think is a fantastic movie that a lot of people kind of skipped over. They look at the what the plot is, which is literally kind of spelled out in the trailers, and think it's like this revenge flick on like black lives on like cops, but like it's literally just a story about survival and two people who love each other, who genuinely are trying to.
I'm going to go
What
see
movie
that
was
Saturday.
Queen and Slim. It director Melina Metsukis. It was written by Lena Waithe. Lena Waithe was a screenwriter. If you've seen Master of None, she did the fantastic Thanksgiving episode that won the Emmy a couple years back. She ended up doing this along with Melina, who's directed music videos for Beyonce and Lady Gaga and things like that. Both her first directorial debut, her first written piece for feature length. Daniel Kaluuya is in it. They ended up breaking a first-time black actress as well. Daniel Kaluuya, who's been in films like Get Out, he's been in Black Panther, he's been in things like
now
Widows.
Get Out.
What a different
Get Out.
perspective.
Get Out was another great movie. I thought
Yeah.
that
I
was
know,
going to
I
win
was
movie
going
of
to
the
say,
year.
I've seen that
But
one.
let me ask you a question. What movie won movie of the year?
Last year?
Yeah.
Well, the Academy Awards haven't come out yet, but like if we're going just off of the just
Well, there was a movie of the year
very true.
appointed last year. Does anybody remember the name of it? Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Oh, dang.
Ding, ding, ding.
We're talking about.
I'm gonna
Do we
assume
get a ring
Avengers
of
Endgame.
The what?
Avengers Endgame?
Endgame.
No.
I don't know.
Are we talking about like Academy Awards? Or, like if we're talking about Academy Awards. I
Well,
think it was.
Get Out was a finalist,
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Get Out
I've
was
seen
definitely
that
up
one.
there.
which I thought should have won. I thought that was a brilliantly made
It
movie.
really was.
Because it
I
was
love-
psychotic and it had such a twist on it that was unreal. And I thought the acting was
You
fantastic.
go to so many movies.
I go every week.
Oh,
And
do
I'm
you?
going
I
to go
love
see
movies
Slim
too.
tomorrow.
Queen
Yeah,
and
Queen.
Slim,
Yeah,
are you?
Queen and
I'm
Slim
going
is
tomorrow.
yeah,
You already
is
bought
definitely
tickets?
one
Yes.
to check out.
I have Regal, baby. I got Regal. I'm a member. I have a seat. I have a booth.
Hold up, let me.
My name is on there.
You're crazy.
But
Andrew,
it-
what was your favorite movie?
Well, that's the thing is, I'm so
I gave
behind.
you time to think.
You know, I know, but
I paused for you.
yeah,
I paused
Mary,
last
Mary
year,
Poppins?
my favorite movie of all time.
No,
or-
last
year.
year.
2019.
No.
Did you go to the movies
I'm
last
so,
year?
No.
Not once?
So, a secret about me, I love the movies. Ryan hates going to the movie theater. Hates it.
So you didn't go
Never
at all?
been in Florida, ever.
How many years?
3 now.
You've never been to a movie in 3 years?
Mm-mm. No.
You gotta go either to the iPic
I know. I just want to
or
go.
go to Regal, which is a watered down. Yeah,
Green,
I've
Green
seen-
Book?
that's it.
Yeah.
That was a great movie.
Now let me tell you something about Green Book. You think Green Book should have won Movie of the Year?
No, I haven't seen that.
Abso-freaking-lutely not.
No.
But do you know why it won?
Why?
It was safe.
That's number
It was
one.
the message.
It was the message, number two, and it went towards the upper age category.
Yeah.
You see, the Joker is your age.
The millennial.
This is all about money.
Well, here's the thing, though. Have you seen Joker?
Yes, I have.
I
Took a night Tylenol, went in there and saw it.
Yeah, it's if anyone is a fan of like Scorsese at all, like it's no doubt about like you're gonna notice Taxi Driver. That film is hands down probably the closest thing to like a Taxi Driver.
Have you seen Taxi Driver?
Like
Yes.
I got it on
You
Blu-ray in the
did?
car.
Yes.
I love
now
that
I've
movie.
seen Taxi Drivers.
That movie you saw. You
Wait.
seen Taxi Driver? Not Taxi, the show.
Oh.
Amanda,
Taxi
did you see-
Driver.
I'm thinking of the old classic with Al Pacino.
You saw it?
Yeah.
Taxi
No,
Driver. Brady
you-
saw it.
Not Al Pacino.
Yeah, Robert De Niro.
Robert De
Robert
Niro.
De
He
Niro.
hasn't gone in 7 years,
The last movie
DJ.
I saw was Cars with my grandchild.
Okay, go see.
7
Cars
years.
is wonderful
Airplanes, I'm sorry,
too.
Airplanes.
Because he's always at a party.
Did you ever see go see Get Out? Or no, I don't even think
Get
it's in the
Out
movie
is
anymore.
good. No,
Or go
but
see
you
A
can
Star
get
Is
it-
Born and you can see it on
That one I
Netflix.
have
You
seen,
can
but
get
no,
Get Out on
it's also
Netflix.
You can get out on Netflix.
Nice.
too.
Yes, because I loved Get Out was so
But
good.
Green Book came on the scene like at the end, and it wins movie of the year, and I didn't understand why, and then I saw the reasons why.
Yeah.
Now Joker, the reason it doesn't, they don't want to make it bigger, because even though it was a good made movie,
Oh.
it's a little scary.
It's a little
And
scary. It's a little dark.
Yeah, well, little people, listen. Now that you brought it up, you heard about the kid that jumped in front of a train, and my condolences go out to him and his family. This kid was going to Georgia Tech,
Absolutely.
right? And his mother's homeless, and she's telling her son about how she's gonna miss him. She's homeless. She's living in the streets, and this kid, full ride to Georgia Tech. This kid is gonna be an athlete of the year, apartment, the whole nine. Throws himself in front of the train, kills himself. They're burying him tomorrow.
God,
But the
love
bottom line here is this is some of the things they are afraid to bring movies up because of that
The
whole
influence,
influence.
Well, I don't think people should be afraid of these things. I think these are things that should be talked about. I remember, and this is while we're just on the topic of Joker, I remember the lead up for this movie, and everyone was like, I remember seeing articles about this film's violent, this film's like dangerous, we can't show this film to people because this film is gonna end up sparking things. Remember Aurora, like they're like Dark Knight Rises. Done like we had the person who came into the theater and just shot up the theater because he was under the impression that he was following the Joker.
Honestly,
that was
that's
something,
what I remember.
Yeah, that was a thing that was later disproven. But also at the same time, I saw this thing twice. I will say that this film is a necessary film just for the topic of the film isn't as an origin story for a villain. This is literally a world in which society creates people who need like genuine villains because they need help.
It's
like
so interesting to hear a different perspective on film instead of just watching a movie. To hear your perspective on film
Absolutely.
as a filmmaker is
It's
truly
totally different.
amazing. And Andrea, for you as a content creator, imagine putting a film and you creating the content, but that's the stories that people remember, right? You remember whatever was created, whether it be gossip or a blog or something about the Joker and the violence, but that's what you remember because somebody created that content.
That's right.
And someone else believed it, and by word of mouth, you shared it, which even led people to maybe not see the film, or it led you to see the film. All of this goes hand in hand.
Well, just because you remember it in that sense, that's what it was. It was intended to be, and again, going back to what you do, it was intended to be put out that way so conversations could be had about whether or not it's violent, right?
It's having the
Star
conversation.
Wars, #1 movie ever made in the history of man. Star Wars, what number is it now? Star Wars 27? Jesus Christ.
you got episode 9.
I was 6 when the first Star Wars came out. I've been around a while.
Yeah.
Right? So you go to see Star Wars, they're nowhere close to what they used to be. But because it has that track record, right? I mean, some basketball players play the game. Brady's he's from another planet, but normally you don't play that well at 42 years of age, but you have history, you have that. Star Wars is another movie that when it first came out, they didn't want to let it in the movies because they come up with the scroll and they thought that would make you cockeyed. There's another movie in there that's saying that it's 3D, and if you have seizures, they don't want you to see. It's one of the animation things.
Oh, yeah, that was. I remember there was an issue with the Incredibles 2 when that came out, and they were talking about like the strobe light thing, like it was freaking out people who got epilepsy.
So they're making TV, but they're making TV shows, right? I was watching 911, and there was a fake fire alarm. They were doing a test, and the light goes on for the fire alarm box. And the strobe light gave the guy the seizures. And all these shows, evil. Again, if you look at all of what's going on around the television and cable, it's all mirror imaging what's going on in the movies.
Technology
talking about
taken
life.
to a whole nother level.
And the conversation. That's why I go to the movies. I get more education.
I usually sleep.
Than I do from people.
How do people find you, Andrea, in Chumslick?
Yeah, so you can actually, I'm called Behind My Reel, so Chumslick is Ryan's, and then I work with Ryan, but I'm behind my reel.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yes, I know.
Absolutely.
Look, I always do. When I'm on anytime I film something, I'm at Behind My Reel. So I'm a big fisherwoman, and then also the reel of a camera. So it's at Behind My Reel, and it's 561-891-0492, or you can call 508-776-3978. We're on Instagram, Facebook.
Behind My Reel for content creation. And Andrew, your film, or how people can find what your projects are?
Oh, yes. You can end up following myself personally on Instagram, Malik Lee _RMM, or just Malik Lee on Twitter. But really look out for NXG Global Productions. That's the main thing that I'm working under, myself, my colleague, Lisa Waring. We're trying to do as much as we possibly can. So definitely check us out, and NXG Global Productions.
Interesting. Can't wait to hear more about it. We're going to switch over our set. We got Bob Feldman, simply put, in the house. So
now, who's Bob Feldman?
You tell me.
No, you tell me.
Back in the day.
You guys know who Bob Feldman is?
Songwriter, Hall of Fame nominee, and rock and roll icon Bob Feldman, and Craig Strang joining us on the next hour. So stay tuned. We're going to take a quick commercial break, switch out the segment, and again, thank you to Mary Marabito for adorning our set for this month. We're going to be changing our set every month. Amazing, and more work from Mary's going to be here out in our studio, and you can get all of these paintings. Everything that you see is for sale. Just give us a call, 888-994-4995. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, this is Jeff, your branding specialist with Promo Stuff For You. So we're entering the new year. By now everybody has gotten their corporate gift, so this time of year generally is quiet with the exception of marketing departments trying to figure out what they're going to do for 2020. So it's really important that a company figures out and does proper planning throughout the year as to what type of marketing they want to do. At Promo Stuff For You, I love being able to sit down with a client and figuring exactly what they want to do, when they want to do it, and time it with the various events that they might have coming up.
Let's all welcome a new sponsor to the show. It's AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet TV radio production company, discover AMP2 TV, a full-service production company that can provide all streaming videos in studio or remotely. They offer web page development, And they use all the latest platforms to help make all your business selling points more powerful. They can do remotes or live radio streaming as well as tape productions for social media platforms and television. AMP2 TV can handle all of your television needs, including closed caption for a perfect on-air telecast. Choose from a variety of creative TV and radio packages or visit one of their many studios to get your creative juices flowing. Come and see why AMP2 TV works with many major companies, including Comcast, Bravo, and Fox 29, as well as individuals and businesses of all types and sizes. To see samples of their work or to find out more, visit their website at amp2.tv. That's AMP, the number 2.tv, or call them at 866-224-5422. Feel free to call for a quote or just a consult of how to put your business on a social media platform or radio platform, or just doing a show that is covered by all platforms. Call 866-224-5422 and make an appointment. That's 866-224-5422.
As we age, our stem cells decline in their ability to heal our bodies. Imagine a patch that could activate your stem cells and reset them to a younger, healthier state. No supplements, nutrients, or drugs enter your body. Activate your stem cells with this patented phototherapy. Benefits include the support of wound healing, rapid pain relief, increased energy, better sleep, reduced stress, sharper mental focus, and an overall feeling of youthful vitality. When you're at your best, you experience the world differently. Contact us at 561-929-1627. For a free consultation to help you feel your best, activate your own stem cells with this affordable patented phototherapy. Call today, 561-929-1627.
And we are back.
We are back at the Brooklyn Cafe. I'm going to call this a Bob Feldman Friday segment. How about that?
Sounds good to me.
We're kicking off the new year. We've got some great guests. The first hour was spectacular. We've got new art hanging in our studio. Thank you to Mary Marabito and the beautiful waterworks and the boats and everything. The energy is changing. And yes, Desi and Lucy, for all of you that are writing in, still hangs in our studio by Jay Harmon, the beautiful pencil drawings. the other paintings in our warehouse, and we get to look right at that. The fact that that is all done in colored pencil is spectacular, isn't it?
Amazing.
I know. So Jay, we can't wait to have you back and see what more artwork we've got going on.
He has some spectacular stuff. He had the horses and all that, all done in pencil, nothing in paints, just remarkable stuff.
Really, really amazing. We've got Andrea Ashley here with Behind the Reels.
Yes.
Right? We have to tag it a little bit differently.
I know.
And we've got Bob Feldman and Craig Strang with us. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank
What
you.
a treat to have you joining us. And I said, there's all the Halloween stuff going on the set, and this is all part of the I Want Candy series.
Love
I didn't know that.
I Want Candy has become an industry in the last 15 years with Valentine cards, Halloween, Easter cards, Christmas, anything that has anything to do with candy, T-shirts, baby shirts. I mean,
you got it all here. I love the pumpkin doll.
No. And the dancing
Actually,
dog.
that's the dog dances. That's a backpack over there
the
next to
backpack
Craig.
is fantastic. The dog runs around. We have witches, and I mean, it's unbelievable.
Well, give everyone some background who's watching. Craig, you work with Bob,
I do.
and you do marketing, promotion.
My company's been in business in South Florida for 20 years. It's my 20th anniversary in 2020.
Congratulations.
Happy anniversary 2020.
Thank you very much. And Bob and I met because I do a variety of things. My business started out at its core doing IT, but IT evolved into communications, and from communications it really encompasses a lot. And I've gravitated into marketing and PR, and that led to a friendship after I met Bob to fix his computer one day, and after seemingly months of epic story after epic story from his life, I just said, you have to write this down. We have to get this in writing. We have to get this book published, and so
That's coming.
That's coming.
That's coming. That's the next one.
That's the next one. And we're talking about Simply Put. Well, let's give some of the background on Bob and these stories that were so intriguing.
Simply put, the title was given to me. I have a friend of 55, 60 years, Tony Orlando. And he comes to Florida every other year. He plays the condos. He's a tremendous entertainer and an unbelievable human being. But he has a friend who talks like Gomer Pyle and thinks like J. Paul Getty. He's just this redneck, talks like this, says Bobby. I know what your book should be called, Bobby. Your lyrics and your words are so simple. Your book should be called Simply Put. Duh.
Duh.
He never finished high school. He owns 2 jets, a school in Missouri. And what he does for a living, people spend the rest of their lives in jail. He blows stuff up. And he's got the second largest, what do you call it?
Is it demolition?
Demolition company
There you go.
in the country.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Simply
And he talks like this.
From Arkansas. Well, he's from Missouri, which is above from where I live, is in Arkansas. So.
Well, I'm from Tennessee, honey.
Oh, well, we love the country. We love
Yeah,
Tennessee.
Southern Belle with us.
I know.
I call her
SEC
Alabama.
right
She's not
here.
even from there.
Did you call her Alabama?
It's okay. I love it.
I call her
16
Alabama.
years in Tennessee, from Brooklyn, New York.
There you go.
How'd you end up in Tennessee?
I went, was it I-95? to
You just drove. I-95 South.
Made a yin instead of a yang. and shit over there.
They cherish songwriters. Nashville was founded on music and songwriters.
Absolutely.
When I traveled around, I would have to pay double or cash, being a songwriter. Years ago, we tried to, my late wife and I tried to adopt a couple of kids. I had to get a rabbi and a priest because rock and rollers were juvenile delinquents. And, they didn't take too kindly to us.
Of course.
How did you get involved in songwriting?
I was a very bad stutterer and stammerer. I could not put a sentence together. I had an 8th grade teacher, God bless her, my literary soulmate, who thought I was going to be another Hemingway. I wrote a novel when I was 13. But she gave me the key to my life. She said, anything you can think of, write it down. then read it, recite it, repeat it. She would come over to my house a couple of nights a week. I would stand in front of a mirror with marbles in my mouth and recite poetry, and I'd try to emulate Richard Burton, who I thought had the most magnificent speaking voice. And I now do public speaking. I give lectures, and I couldn't put an entire sentence together without stuttering or stammering. So all my life, do you remember the old Abbott and Costello, Niagara Falls?
Yeah.
Slowly. My Niagara Falls is shut up. I heard those two words growing up all my life. Shut up, Robert. Shut up, Robert. What do you know? Shut up, Robert. And I was abused as a kid, mentally, physically, and emotionally.
Verbally, yeah.
And I became schizophrenic at 8. Yes, I did. Shut up. This book was written with the sensitivity of Robert, the creativity of Bob, the humor of Bobby, and the je ne sais quoi of Robert Claude, because my mom left the T off my birth certificate.
That's hilarious.
And I hope you like at least 2 of me.
We have some choices.
What an amazing life, though. Songwriting, everything you've done, how you just being a songwriter and then escalating your career.
My first record in 1956 or 7, the B-side was "Hey Ma, Stop Picking on Me." It was a poem I wrote. And the only way I could express myself was to, and even to this day, I can write what I can't say. On a personal level, I get tongue-tied. So I write love songs.
And you don't get tongue-tied?
Because he writes it, but doesn't say
He
it.
doesn't get tongue-tied with love songs.
He doesn't get tongue-tied writing them, but verbally it's different.
Verbally, my late wife and I used to pick up the phone on her side of the bed and my side of the bed, and we talked to each other at night because I couldn't look at. I became a dweeb.
So you used to call her on the phone?
We talked to each other on the phone.
That's hilarious.
It's kind of like what Gio and Sabrina do when they're at your house.
No,
and they
they're
text
millennials.
each other,
They
right?
do
They
that now.
text each other. They do the same kind of thing.
The
I
kids
can't
text each
text.
other.
My thumbs don't work.
They watch movies and they're talking to each other on their phones, and they're in the same room.
She was unbelievable. I wrote a song about. She was always first at being second best. She made her own clothes. If we got a flat tire, I'd stand with the lantern while she changed it. When we got engaged, I said, "Listen, I can't afford a ring and a bedroom set, so pick one." And she said, "Get me the ring, I'll build the bedroom set." And she did.
I will sleep on the floor.
Honest to God
There
truth.
you go.
Honest to God truth.
How did you get your first big break?
I've been very, very lucky. I had 3 records out at the same time on a United Artists subsidiary. I was adopted by the head of A&R for United Artists Records in 1956. I got calls when the plane crashed. Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and come on. Who's the third one? Look at this.
On the plane?
Was it
On
the
plane.
piano
Buddy
player?
Holly, the Big Bopper, and
The Bamba guy, no?
La Bamba.
the
Richie
Bopper,
Valens.
Yes.
Richie Valens. I got a call. I think it was the Thursday night the plane crashed. I got a call and said, "I want a memorial song in my office tomorrow morning." Friday, we had a song. My ex-partner, Jerry Goldstein. We wrote a song. Went in Friday, recorded on a Saturday, it was pressed on a Sunday, released on a Monday, hit the charts the following week, and then United Artists, in its infinite wisdom, said the record was in poor taste. They figured any publicity was good. The record got banned. That the company said, "Oh, it's in poor taste," they took it off the air.
Wow.
But I had 3 records out at the same time, and my first big break actually was in '61. We put the bop in the bop, 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 bop. We put the ram in the ram-a-lam-a-ding-dong.
Wow.
That was in Greece, too. In Greece, the movie.
it's just iconic.
It's everywhere.
That's what I was about to
in
say.
the 60s, answer songs were really... It was a big thing. I wrote answer songs. We did TV shows. In fact, do you know where the term rock and roll comes from, Fred?
I thought it was always Elvis Presley, but I guess not.
From who?
Of Elvis.
No. Alan Freed was a disc jockey in Cleveland. That's why the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is there.
Uh-huh.
But when he came to New York, rock and roll is the motion the car made when you were doing it in the backseat.
Oh!
If you listen to
You say I'm back.
if you listen to all the old Little Richard,
What? You want me to read his mind?
Finish the sentence for
there
him,
was
Greg.
rocking in a roll until the break of day. I looked at my watch. It was 10:21. But we were rocking and a rolling.
And that's what it was all about.
And that's what it's still
I
all
had
about, right? You
an
just got to
Nova.
name it.
I had a Nova.
You had an over?
I had a Nova.
Over.
N-O-V-A.
Oh.
I had a
Chuck
Nova.
You had
Berry.
Nova, you were rocking in an
Chuck
over.
Berry.
Chuck Berry.
All the old
Yeah.
R&B artists.
I'm trying to think of who sings the Great Balls of Fire. Who is that?
That was
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Jerry Lewis.
Jerry
Okay.
Lewis.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
So on the
Rocking and a
Alan Freed show-
rolling till the break of day.
What was the song you wrote for the Alan Freed show?
I was a dancer on the Alan Freed, who was the #1 disc jockey, and he really started rock and roll. Used to ride the D train and dance on his TV show twice a week. And I wrote this poem and read it on the air, and he said, well, if you put music to it, and my punchball partner, we wrote, if you want a program that's hip to the jive, tune your TV to Channel 5, because that's the place where the top teens go, to dance up a storm on the big beach,
Amazing, right?
And then I told him I had a singing group called Bobby and the Bows, and my first television show was Jackie Wilson singing Lonely Teardrops, Bobby Darin singing Splish Splash, Jerry Butler and Gypsy Woman. And we closed the show with our song.
Very cool. What year was your show?
I'm going to say, I graduated in 1957.
And how long were you on the air?
17.
17
I
years.
was 17.
You were 17.
How long was the show?
Yeah.
No, he got caught in the payola scandal, and the girl in my group's mother put the. She was the
What?
straw that broke the camel's back. She called. Of course, everybody got checks, and then you had to sign them back, to do the show. And she called her congressman.
And that's the way it was done on that. A big
Alan
bundle.
never took money from a song he didn't like. Okay? Dick Clark layered himself. He had people in front of him in record plants, and he had a piece of every record that came out of Philadelphia in the 60s. The Bobby Rydell, Chubby Checker,
Dick
Fabian
Clark,
Rock. Oh, I had a if a record cost, hypothetically, let's say 10 cents back then to press, they would charge the record companies 12 cents, and he would get, and that would come through a layer.
Mm-hmm.
But the vice president of Swan Records was Dick Clark's manager.
Ah.
It was incredible. He just,
Smart.
you couldn't
smart
touch him. He had too
businessman,
many
right?
layers
He
in
had the
front of him.
layers. He was a smart businessman, though.
You what?
Yeah, you think
even
about
the guy
it.
that.
But he changed music history by bringing it forward.
Yeah.
Dick Clark, what he did, what everybody did, it changed history. Now you look at what music is. We've got you have a question, DJ? This is our DJ, our
I
in-house
love it.
DJ.
Yeah. You know, what we do at Fuego is when we bring artists like you, and I have a lot of respect for you, sir. From the music, I love music.
Thank you.
So I have a lot of respect. My heart, his heart is down to you, okay? So I wanted to see, we can put a little bit of flavor to it. I want you to sing your favorite song, anything that you can just sing for the audience.
My favorite
Everybody that is
song?
watching. Yeah, right now, just sing it. Let's put some flavor to it. Come on.
I write the songs that make, I don't sing them.
Sing
My
whatever,
favorite
it's okay.
song
Yeah.
was called Who Milked the Cows When I'm Gone.
Who moved?
And how does it go? How does it go?
A young farm boy named Sam got a telegram, said, son, you're being drafted. It was 1950, the 5th of May. With a teardrop in his eye, he kissed his folks goodbye, and as he left, you could hear him softly say, who'll milk the cows when I'm gone? Who's gonna paint the old red barn? Who'll mend the fences in the field, pick the cotton and the corn? Who'll milk the cows when I'm gone? And all through basic training, and then in the end, this song was supposed to be the follow-up to Big Bad John, Jimmy Dean, and 16 Tons, Tennessee Ernie Ford. They asked me to change one line, I wouldn't change it. See it? With a bullet in his chest, I laid him down to rest. He saved my life, but gave up his instead. No better friend had I, and to this day I still cry when I think about the last words that he said. Who'll milk the cows when I'm gone?
And you remember
Excellent.
every lyric.
Love it.
Everything.
I love it too.
Craig, what was one of the most inspiring stories that you said to Bob, that I want to work with you?
I don't know if we can say those on the air. There's a lot of Bob's life that is coming in his next
Colorful,
book.
very colorful.
But there's a story that Bob has frequently told me about. He and his partners were flying out to get their first award. Right? It was a plane trip, and I would botch the story if I told it. But this plane trip is unlike any other plane trip that I've ever heard.
The one that went down?
The one that went down.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were going to get our first gold record from Smash. My Boyfriend's Back was my first #1 record. I had chart records before that, but this was my first #1 in 1963.
Yeah.
And we're on our way to a Smash Mercury convention, and we get on a plane, and we take off.
From? Where were you flying from?
New York, at that, I guess it was Idlewild
Right.
at that time, before it was Kennedy. And we're about 10 minutes out. Sparks come shooting out of one engine. It was a 4-engine jet prop at that time.
Imagine.
And the plane starts going up and down, and second one goes. Now there's a gentleman with a 10-gallon hat yell, "Son of a, we're on fire! Son of a, we're on fire!" People, rosary beads and Hail Marys, and you would not believe what's going on this plane. You wait for the calming words of the people up front, and you hear, "This is your..." You're choking. Now the plane is filling up with smoke, and the three of us, we're sitting three in the aisle, and we're playing Jacks or Better, and one of my partners says, "Son of a, I finally get an aces full, and look at this, the plane's going. Friggin' plane is on fire." We open up the thing, and we take out joints, and we start to light joints.
Why not?
And he says, "I'm not going down straight." Okay. A third engine goes, and the pilot says, "We're going to try to make it back to Idlewild." Now the masks come down, and
oh my goodness.
And then the stewardess come with pieces of paper to write anything, and they're going to put it in the excrement chute. I wrote, "Help."
Your last will and testament.
Help. Stewardess says, "What are you doing?" So we're smoking grass. That's what we're doing. "Do you have any extra?" Yeah. So we gave two. One, the stewardess went, and then they brought one into the pilot, I guess. I don't know what. We landed on foam.
Fly in the friendly skies.
Wow.
We got back, slid down the chutes. Now, there were 112 people on the plane. 18 got on the next plane. I don't drink, so they took me into a bar, and they carried me on to the next plane. And went to, where in Illinois? So it was an underground city. And it was like -8, and I went to 1963. It was the Chicago New York Giants played the Bears in a playoff game. There was no, what happens in football? Main thing. The Super Bowl. There was no Super Bowl then. I got frostbite. It was like -18. St. Charles, Illinois. That's where it was. In an underground city.
Unbelievable. These stories, right? And your next book is about more stories?
It's
because this
more.
is different.
It's called "I Want Candy," a strange love story. 3 guys, Jerry and I, started Punchbowl in the streets of Brooklyn. We met Richard in 1962 when we wrote a song for Nat King Cole, and we went up to the office, and we had a 1 o'clock appointment. We got there a 11:45. There was a guy sitting there. He said, "Well, I got a 12 o'clock appointment." And they had a music room. We just started to, we wrote, we kept going, "What time is it? What time is it?" So we wrote a song called "What Time Is It?" right then, 3 of us.
And that's how music was, right? It was just totally
Then we
different.
wrote a song called "Tossing and Turning Again." And the 3 of us left, and we had Bob and Jerry music, which we changed to Grand Canyon music. The 3 of us became partners on that day, went up to Belltone Records, and they cut "What Time Is It?" and they hit the charts. And then some fella in a sharkskin gray suit who was as slick as a, what was that, Valdez, that ship?
The oil slick, Valdez? The oil slick.
Slick as an oil slick. Said, "You guys are the hot writers in town." Really? I didn't know that. He says, "If I could get you to follow up to Palisades Park by Freddie Cannon, would you sign with me?" "Sure." He says, "Good, because we have an appointment in Philadelphia to play the song." "What song?" "The one you're writing tonight."
Oh my goodness.
We finished the song on the train to Philly, got the follow-up, next 3 records after Palisades Park.
You were able to turn over that fast, huh?
In a night.
Yeah, in those days, my mind wasn't hampered by all the drugs I took, as it is now, and it was a little quicker.
But music was different. It was simpler. The
It
words
was.
were different. It was, you just expressed what you wanted to express. We didn't have all the other things. You didn't have the layers.
My boyfriend's back was banned on a lot of radio stations. He went away, you hung around, and you said things about me that weren't very nice. I had to cut off the intro to that record for stations.
Really?
Yeah. Banned. Too suggestive.
Imagine that now.
Now, 2 years later, I Want Candy was full of double entendres.
And it was
That
fun.
was a dirty song.
And now look, truly they've taken that out and it's using for Halloween.
Well, the times
Where's
have
it?
changed.
Press
with
this little dog. Let him run around the table.
We're going to press Little Dog. DJ, we're going to go to commercial break. When we come back.
Yeah, a quick question. A little bird just told me that you know Tony Orlando. How well do you know him?
He was 16 when we met. We spoke. He just texted me last night because I told him the book he should write is music, baseball, and presidents. He's entertained for 4 or 5 presidents. He knows everybody in baseball. I said, that's a book. I mean, you could be on every television show. He was the entertainer last year in Las Vegas.
Tony Orlando and Dawn, the first concert I went to at Sunrise, I think it was Sunrise Musical Theater at the time, which is BB&T out in that area. There was nothing there back in the day, and the Dawn.
And you went to see Tony Orlando?
Orlando and Dawn. Don't forget, there is a reason.
I remember the first show I got to see was Tony Orlando. It was, I think, on NBC.
Was Dawn with him?
It
The
was
Dawns.
we had a big color TV that didn't work in the black and white on top, and I got to see him in black and white.
Amazing. Let's go to quick commercial break. There you go.
That
We're going to quick
scared the
commercial
hell out of me.
break. I Want Candy. We'll be right back.
I love it.
Huh?
I
that
love
great?
it.
Oh, nice.
He's the only thing bigger than his talent is his heart.
He said that he and Margaret had his ready at
Yeah. Well, he had his own television show for a whole. Oh wow.
You'd remember me.
He's back in town.
He won't forget
next
you.
month.
He will not
Yeah, he's
forget
coming back
you.
next
He's
month.
incredible.
He has.
Sometimes
I'm
you
impressed.
need to shake
Performing
things
at
up
Bill
a
More
bit
Powell.
to be a little adventurous,
watched
to make your
Bill
meals
More
pop.
Darling.
Don Pablo coffee growers and roasters have that special ingredient. That little bit of adventure in a bottle to take your dinner to the next level. So take a leap and try one of Don Pablo's fresh roasted specialty coffee meat rubs on your beef, chicken, or pork. You'll never go back to boring again. Go ahead, rub it on your meat.
Sexy, seductive, and beautiful. Looking for a professional and talented photographer? Danielle Boujon specializes in capturing flirtatious and tasteful images for yourself or your partner. Located in South Florida, Danielle really knows how to bring out your inner beauty on a shoot. Visit her website at www.daniellebuljan.com or call her at 561-305-2241 to capture your most desirable moments.
Dr. Lee of Boca Raton Acupuncture Clinic with the PhD in neuroscience. Her practice in acupuncture helps hormone balancing, total relaxation, diabetes, and inflammation. For additional questions or to schedule a free consultation, call Boca Raton Acupuncture Clinic at 617-817-1910. Acupuncture and Chinese herbs are very effective in treating many ailments and diseases and have been used for thousands of years in China. Call today for your free consultation at 617-817-1910.
And we are back at the Brooklyn Cafe TV. Wow,
That scared the hell out of me. I just want you to know when that thing went on.
The dog did?
Yeah, I almost jumped out the window.
Please don't do that. It's
I
been
know
one
what
of
it was.
those days.
One of those days.
Not happening. We're here live. We're with Craig Strang and the famous, well-known Bob Feldman. We have not talked about Simply Put. And yes, this is just the teaser, Simply Put, for the next book. Your autobiography?
Well, it's autobiographical, not so much. It's about, it really is a strange love story. Two guys became three guys. 1962, how many years ago? 50 years, 60 years? We still talk to each other.
That's incredible.
We're still in business together.
Not retired. You're still going.
Retired from what? I don't know what I do. I just know I never have enough time to do it. But I don't know what it is I do. Last December, on December 4th, the three of us reunited the first time on stage in 53 years.
Wow.
We had a 15-minute rehearsal at the Bowery Ballroom, which you can find online in New York City. The band knew, great band. They knew, 15 minutes we rehearsed, went up, did a 45-minute show. Then we got offered to do a grunge weekend in Mallorca. I said, no, that's a 3-day orgy. My heart wouldn't take it.
And that's the book. When is that book coming out? It's in process?
As soon as I write it. I have notes that stand around 18 to 24 inches high.
Yeah, that's something I ask him every day.
I was going to ask, are you helping him put this together? That's what I was thinking, Craig.
This book was written, every page in this book was handwritten. And then if I made a mistake on the last line, I'd rip up write the page over again. Craig put it on computer.
Thankfully, I was
digitalized it for me.
Made it a whole lot easier.
But everything was done by hand.
But and everything in this book, they're just short vignettes. Everything is a short thought, a short story.
The first one is, we're not promised tomorrow.
True that.
True.
So let's not waste today. Put away the pain and sorrow and close the door to yesterday. We're not promised tomorrow, so we're blessed if we should find someone to play and pray with when we leave today behind. For tomorrow one day may never come to any one of us. And what a shame if a what could be became a never was. Now we're not promised tomorrow. We're all on borrowed time, and some clocks run much longer and some clocks just unwind. But this heart still beats with feeling, yet the butterfly is still elusive. The book is almost finished now, the final chapter inconclusive. Now we can't turn the clock back, but we can beg, steal, and borrow every precious minute that we can, because we're not promised tomorrow.
You know what? I can't remember what I had for breakfast.
I'm just what Bob remembers. And
No,
Freddie,
I have no, and I have to tell you, I have no memory.
That's not true.
I know it's not true because this one, if you can dream it, you can do it. Growing up in Brooklyn, Freddie, he talks about sports and stickball and punchball. Everything that we always talk about. It's just a New York flair. Growing up in Brooklyn, the Bronx, different
I was
than
going
growing
to
up
bring a
anywhere
gift,
else.
and I left it in the garage because I was running late. I have a Spalding.
Oh, I got a stickball somewhere around here.
I have an official's. Next time I will get you a Spalding.
Things that we talk about, just growing up in New York is a different flavor than any place else. I know Arkansas is all different, but
No, completely.
everyone knows New York. And everyone here, it's New York. It's everything who you are, what you do. We talk about.
Well, it's funny because
Dream to be, in sports.
Well, but the difference is he's written it. You can have all the war stories in the world. If I go to New York, we go to a bar, my buddies come out of the woodwork and we talk about all the war stuff, but nobody's written it. You've written it. And now it's there forever. This is
I am so proud. I have to tell you, I'm really extreme. I've had #1 records in every country of the world. I've sold 50, 60 million records worldwide. I am so proud of this book.
I can see it.
Because it's really me. If anybody wanted to know who the hell I was, or am, or are, or will be.
You're the author.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Who are we talking to? Robert
It's
Robert?
And right here it says, simply put, this book is full of love, hope, and dreams. If you can dream it, you can do it. I dreamed it, I did it. So can you. Believe it. There is no time limit for happiness, success, or love. Don't stop dreaming. Talk about simply put. Right? This is what we talk about every day.
It's the essence of everything that we've talked about the last 4 years.
Some friends of my daughter were in Florida. My health wasn't great. There's a place near the airport, Grandpa's. It's
a diner or
diner,
bakery or something.
yeah. So we met on a Sunday. They were leaving. I drove in. The place is jammed. They're sitting at a table. Husband, wife, 2 kids. Myself, I sit down. She says, Bobby, I'm going to pray for you. She says, but I pray loud. Now there's a line, and she puts a hand on my head, and we're holding hands, and she says, Lord! And she's praying loud. I start, tears are coming. People online are crying. People are putting down their knives and forks and the weight. I swear it was the most unbelievable experience. And I wrote it.
And it's right here.
It's
the
in the
thoughts
book.
and feelings
You
about the
found it.
power of prayer.
Yeah.
I wrote that driving home from this. It was an incredible experience.
The power of prayer.
If you've seen so much and you've done books and there's music and everything else in your life, anybody ever make a film about you?
We have film. I've got so much to do. A documentary. There is film. Burt Burns from Bang Records. We've got about 18 minutes there. In 2000 and whatever, when we got together, the 3 of us, first time in 25 years we're in the same room. 2 mothers, my father, their mothers. My ex-partner's mother was our secretary. She owned a typewriter. She would make sandwiches every day. We could not afford to go out to eat. And she's talking to Richard Goddard's mother and says, Flo, did you know all this stuff that went on? She says, well, I made a tuna fish sandwich every day for Neil Diamond. Came up every day. And I had to make 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for that chubby boy. What was his name? Tony Orlando.
Oh my God.
I had to put a phone booth in my waiting room because we couldn't, everybody wanted to use the phone. I had a Coke machine, Coca-Cola, in the waiting room, and I put Chivas Regal in the water cooler.
Of course you do.
Why not? But this is a time, and DJ, when you come and you play music for us every day, and I say we got to go old school, and you say, what old school? We either go Latin, today was Michael Bublé and Frank Sinatra. Your songs are old school, right? It brings up memories for everybody, no matter what generation. And you said every song has been plagiarized. So you go old school, and even now, they're taking the same notes. But it's not, the lyrics are different. The feel is different than it was then.
There was a sweet shop across from Abraham Lincoln High School where I graduated. I graduated with Neil Sedaka, Neil Diamond, The Tokens. My best, closest friends were Jay and the Americans. I did the original demo on Caramia with Jay. The End of the Boardwalk was Carole King.
Wow.
It was incredible. So I'm in the sweet shop. They're tearing it down to build either a Left Rack City or a Trump slum. I one of the two. And I'm there to have my last egg cream, Manny and Zelda. And it's a corner store. And in the back where we used to cut classes and hang out, God is my witness, there's a little girl screaming at a guy dressed like Fonzie. My boyfriend's back. You're going to be in trouble. You've been saying things about me that aren't true. When he gets back and gets a hold of you, he's going to beat the crap out of you. I took a napkin, a pencil, and I wrote what I heard. I asked if I could borrow the phone. I called. I said, do not leave the office tonight. I came to Brooklyn to have dinner with my parents. I will eat fast. I won't even take the train. I will hop in a cab. I heard a #1 song. We wrote the song that night.
Wow.
Wow.
But except for one line, which took about 2 weeks, if I were you, I'd take a permanent vacation. That line came 2 weeks later. But we wrote the song that night.
But you know, all these stories and all these songs that are these guideposts of his life, you know, to me, really are that's the meat and potatoes of a film.
That's what I'm asking.
And so my goal for Bob, as we approach this next book, and it literally is going to be pen to paper, is to write a sister screenplay right along with it.
I was going to say, I see a Broadway show more than the book. It's because that's, you take all your songs, and it's the life and how you follow this whole
And
path.
Netflix series with episodes, see?
Yeah.
I have been shot at, arrested for attempted rape in a high school classroom, on the road with the McCoys, who were minors. We stayed in the same room. One of us, there were 4 of us on the road, and each one of us stayed in a room with one of the McCoys. We left town one night, drove about an hour and a half away, went to bed. It was summertime, and I slept without clothes on. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, there's 3 underage girls in my room. I jump up, I throw them out. I am arrested for indecent exposure, impairing the morals of a minor, handcuffed, and at 4 o'clock in the morning, I am taken to a judge in handcuffs.
There's more to that judge story, by the way.
I called my friend, an attorney who was the attorney for the Tokens, who later on bought Alice's restaurant, owned it. And he says, Bobby, he says, just go on don't be defensive. The judge is the father of one of the girls.
Geez.
Oh, jeez.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was
Okay,
coming.
so I'm handcuffed. I says, can I speak to you in chambers privately, please? You don't need these. I'm not going anywhere. They take off the handcuff. I said, Your Honor, what is an underage girl at 4 in the morning doing in my hotel room 2.5 hours from where she lives? Well, since her mother died, I can't control her, and now the judge starts
crying to you.
Now I'm hugging the judge. They let me go, but you know, it's scary.
It's very scary.
They let him go.
Well, but, I mean, think about
I just
that.
want to know, when you saw the judge, did you have clothes on?
What?
When you saw the judge, did you have clothes on?
Were you
Were you wearing clothes?
I was wearing clothes. I did not leave the room naked.
I gotta tell you, your stories are inspirational, all of it. And I'm thinking about the thoughts and feelings about selling a house. Depersonalize it. Think about all the memorabilia you have. The people collect in a lifetime.
My daughter
Awards,
took everything. She says, Dad, I'll take care of it. Because I was a snowflake, or what do you call it?
Snowbird.
Snowbird.
Snowflake.
You could be a snowflake if you want.
can,
She was
absolutely
in Tennessee.
you are.
She says, I'll take care of it. When I went back, there was no trace of me. And I wrote A Stranger in My Own House. The last poem in the book is called Sometimes I Forget. And I wrote that. And I read it. Tony Orlando, when he was playing it, made me read it on stage. Sometimes I forget where I put my keys. Sometimes I forget where I parked my car. And sometimes I'll walk from one room into another, scratch my head and look around because I forgot what I went looking for. Now it's nowhere to be found. I'll get in the car, lock the door, drive myself to the grocery store, and sometimes, no matter how hard I try, would you believe I forgot what I went there to buy? Make a list. Make a list, you say. I do. I make at least 3 lists a day. I put them in places where I know I won't lose them, and somehow they vanish. I never use them. Sometimes I forget what I was going to say, or I'll stop in mid-sentence and watch my thoughts float away, and it's not getting better. Every day it gets worse. It used to frustrate me. I'd get angry and curse, but now I just laugh. What else can I do? But this much I do know, and I swear that it's true no matter how, what, where, when. I won't forget you. I hope.
You read that word for word.
Word for word.
Didn't forget a word.
You didn't forget a word.
Really?
Yeah.
Every single poem, everything in here, you recite, what is it? You write, recite, read it, recite, and repeat.
Yeah.
And it looks like you just wrote it because it's in your handwriting.
About 8 years ago, I was really depressed. I lost a couple of really good friends. I was thinking of doing drugs again. I got up at 3 or 4 in the morning. I went to the bathroom, and I'm standing in front of a full mirror, and my late wife appeared over my shoulder. She said, "You know, you're still an a-hole. You lived a life of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and at your age, 2 out of 3 ain't bad." She says, "Forget about it." Kissed me on the cheek and says, "I'm watching you," and disappeared. I got up in the morning, there was a lyric on a pad that I don't remember writing. And it's a great, it's a wonderful
And what was the
song.
lyric?
I don't remember it.
That's the one thing you don't remember.
It's in there somewhere.
We'll find it.
Is it I'll Never Forget?
What?
I'll Never Forget.
Appropriately.
It's called In Dreams. In dreams we're still together, our love goes on forever. It seems in dreams you're still lying here beside me.
Daybreak.
Huh? It is there? No kidding. Look at that.
He says, "Look at that, it's there."
It's
Who
right
wrote that? Who wrote that?
Daybreak, one more heartache. Don't want to wake up without you. Sleeping, I want to keep on sleeping because dreaming is being with you.
Now, how long did it take you to write the book?
Well, it took me longer to write the prelude to Opening Thoughts and Feelings than it did to write the book.
Really?
It took about a year to finish it.
Which
The
isn't bad.
prelude
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It is really part of my life I shared. Nobody knew that I used to sit in a closet waiting for my father to come home and beat the crap out of me. And when I was about 8 years old, Bob showed up, sat down next to Robert, put his hand around him, and said, "Don't worry, I'll take care of you. Your father doesn't scare me." And Bob looked after Robert all these years. Without Bob, Robert would be in a home somewhere. Robert is very shy, introverted, just very sensitive, and a poet. Bob is a huckster, a con man. He's,
The different personalities.
P.T. Barnum. Bobby is a comedian.
Okay, so who's this other person that tells us about these other people?
Who wrote the book?
No, he's describing 2 people.
Yeah, they're
but
all
who's the
him.
third person?
Bobby is the comedian. I have the ability, a DWOL is a DWOS. A day without laughter is a day without sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a household with no laughter, no sunshine. And God has this incredible way of leveling a playing field.
Yes, true that.
Knowing my need for laughter, He gave me the ability to make almost any human being laugh or smile, even at my own expense. And I'm okay with that. I need to hear laughter every day. I need to see a person smile. That is my drug.
That motivates you. Okay, so we've been talking about the past. We've been talking about everything that occurred in the past, things you've written, all that. What I want to know is, what is it like to be you today? You get up in the morning, what's it like to be? What is it?
I just thank God every morning that I get up. I mean, I have lost most of my friends. Most of my relationships. I read. I don't exercise. I'm out of shape.
Do you still write?
Yeah.
He writes like a madman. If you go into Bob's home, he's got pads and paper.
I have a pad and pencil in every room.
Still distributing music and lyrics to artists in the business?
It's thoughts. I write my thoughts down. I had a thought. Everything she loved about me when we met is everything she hates about me now.
You know, the business of operating I Want Candy, like you said, it's an enterprise in itself. You know, keeping that machine running.
And who's doing all of it? You still do all of the I Want Candy, still keep it going?
No, this is Sony. Sony owns the publishing. I got very lucky. The songs came back to me. The rights to I Want Candy and My Boyfriend's Back, which has been a commercial for 40 years. And one song has been a commercial 40 years. The Hess truck's back and it's better than ever.
Right.
Hey, la, this year it's a fire and whatever. 40 years this commercial is going on. I Want Candy has become it's a
commercial also. I Want Candy is a commercial as well. I've seen it on television.
It has been the most used song in the last 15 years in commercials, trailers, film. I have 50, 60 movies. I met, what's his name? Fonzie. What was his name?
Winkler?
Henry Winkler.
Henry Winkler. I met him in Nashville, Tennessee. One of his kids played soccer with one of my ex-partner's kids. So I meet him in Florida at the casino. And I said, Henry, we met, we were talking. I said, I never thanked you. He says, what for? And I pulled out my BMI statement, and I said, Happy Days, episode 23, 17, 46. All the episodes play my music. And he says, you make more residuals than I do. I don't get any residuals for any of those shows.
Wow, he doesn't get any residuals?
No.
Wow. I mean, and I was going to ask you that because
the business side of it, right?
The music side of it, in the day, they used to sign your life away just to get a couple of dollars up front. Wasn't that the way it was done? And they never took care of you down the road?
No. The old record business, outside of the three major record labels, were all gangsters. They were all mob controlled. Gotcha. I met Berry Gordy when he was writing songs. He wrote songs for Jackie Wilson. He wrote Lonely Teardrops, and he didn't get a penny.
Wow.
Not a dime. And he went from Tamla Records, he went to Detroit. Started Motown. He didn't make a dime as a songwriter. He had hit records.
The stories are amazing. What's next? People, you're doing book signings.
Simply put, I did a couple of book signings. I did one at Books and Books in Coral Gables.
Yeah.
They said it was the best book signing they had in 15 years. Nestor Torres, flautist, had a book signing in the afternoon. He had 13 people. I had 43 people in seats there.
Of course, we had Tony came on board, and Tony gave us a celebrity endorsement on the back of the book.
I see that.
And Tony was kind enough to come in and introduce Bob.
He came in for a week, no gigs, no nothing, just to introduce me at book signings.
Well, you must know everybody in the industry, right?
Look, just like your graduating class, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes, your graduating class is just phenomenal.
It's Dion, I go back with. I was a co-writer on the back of Ruby Baby in 1961. It's been an unbelievable trip so far.
You got to get your memoirs published and written.
You got to get the movie done. Got to get the movie done.
The play.
All that I just need another 5-6 years.
No, we're not going to wait that long.
No,
to do what I want to do.
We're going to crack the whip.
How do people get this book?
Amazon.com. You can find it, just go to Amazon and search for, simply put, Bob Feldman.
Or
it's also available on Google Books.
Barnes & Noble.
Barnes & Noble. You can walk up to the counter at Barnes & Noble and buy it. It's
and
available at
you can
Target.
call me and I'll come and order, sign it for you.
And maybe if you say please, you'll get your own copy.
There are
Because this one's made out to me.
signed hardcover editions available on Amazon.
Yeah.
As well, and it's also available digitally on Google eBooks and as a Kindle version.
Excellent.
And if you go to Bob Feldman Music, you'll find. What's that?
I have a website?
Yes, you have a website. BobFeldmanMusic.net. So, and he's also got a Facebook page, which is Bob Feldman Music.
Bob
And
Feldman
so-
Music. And simply put, it's
and
full
I'll
of
tell you
love,
this
hope,
real
and
quick.
dreams.
I wrote a brand new Gershwin song.
Really?
Yes.
With Craig's partner, which he introduced me to. I started 19 years ago. It's the longest I've ever taken to finish a song. Mel Torme was on the David Letterman show. And Letterman said, "You've done so much, is there anything you regret?" He says, "I regret there'll never be a brand new Gershwin song." What a great title. 4 years later, I read where he died, and I Googled every Gershwin song. And a brand new Gershwin song, and the first verse has what, 16 Gershwin songs? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. The whole song is Gershwin titles.
Almost all of it, yeah.
Almost all of it, all right.
You know, you should do a stand-up show at the Hard Rock.
I tried.
Well, we know somebody down there.
Oh, okay.
And we will do
What
one night
happened?
deal.
Wait, you tried.
I got
What
an
happened?
apple in my throat. I did Caroline's downstairs because I don't tell jokes. I can tell you true life stories that'll make you laugh. And they're all true. They're unbelievably true. You know? And I got an apple in here and I choked like a big enchilada.
You did great today. You just need
did
people around you.
fantastic today. The stories are remarkable.
What they're doing now, and I was watching every Sunday, they're doing plays where people are talking about their life. And it's a one-person deal. And they have the lights, the music. I don't know if you see
Like
some
you
of
had
this.
Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal
on
is the
Broadway.
latest one.
Yes, I saw that,
Unbelievable.
yeah.
Oh my God, that was unreal. That's what you got to do.
Yep.
Because you have, in a nutshell, your life. And you ain't got to move around a little bit. They move the lights, they move the stage, they pop up things, pop up there.
I bring my jukebox.
That's all you got to do. And
My world,
it,
so-
but
Just
it
tell
would
your
be
story.
phenomenal.
I agree
And I
with
think
that.
we should call
I
our
think
friend
we should
down.
do it right over there.
Call.
Hey, let me give you the phone. Here you go, Fred.
We because we want to do a show down at the Hard Rock. It's
a great idea.
Coconut Creek.
At Coconut Creek. down
Seminole
there.
Casino.
And what we'll do is we'll take him with us, and we'll do a stand-up right there. And when she gets to see, you know, all you need is the right set of eyes,
That's
man.
right.
You ain't got
You're
to do
right,
nothing.
yeah.
Well, you
else.
know, he's right here in South Florida, and I
Yes.
think Bob needs to be celebrated and recognized.
Yes,
100%.
absolutely,
Agreed.
absolutely.
Songwriters in Nashville, they tried country music videos. They tried to take the songwriter's name off the videos. They had the artist and the record company, the title. So I organized from a couple of organizations. We went around to all the paper racks and put one coin in, take all the papers out. There was Gwinnett newspaper, and we took all the papers out. You're stealing from us.
That's right.
This is our livelihood.
That's right.
You're stealing then. And they put, we organized it, all the songwriters got together, and we're all over Tennessee taking out the newspapers out of every rack, and they put the songwriters' names back on the music videos.
It's amazing. Craig, you're absolutely right. The stories, everything. Your life has to be documented because you know what? If you don't document it, then
I
how
know.
do you inspire the next generation? And all of this came down to your teacher. If you go all
My
the way
teacher.
back, you were going into baseball and sports, and your
Miss
teacher said,
Byrne.
Yep.
God bless her, my literary soulmate.
But
Think
I
about that.
think
All
I
goes
think
back
that
to
you
that.
have a brilliant mind.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And just putting it forward, and you got a guy here who's looking out for your best interest. I think, I really, really feel that we make a couple of calls and you give it a shot.
Well, whatever
you put something together.
We're
that's
available to do
smart.
anything you'd like together. I have no
love
life.
this.
I do nothing. I have no.
Well, then
This
it's
is your life.
settled.
Then it's easy to do. But I think that selling it as a one-man act, you know, it doesn't have to be, or it doesn't have to be 3 hours. It doesn't have to be none of that
No,
stuff. But Billy Crystal show how effective the other kid, the Spanish guy, the other actor, he does the same
Look
thing.
what we did in an hour right here.
Oh my gosh! Wait,
Absolutely.
thank you so much. What an honor to
Yes.
have you join us.
Thank
to
you
share
for
your
having
story.
me.
It's
Greg,
a pleasure. Yes,
thank
it's
you
an
for
honor.
reaching
Yes,
out.
absolutely.
And, you know, it's always about the timing. We ran into you at J&J's when we were doing our remote there while we were in between sets. And there you have it. What a great way to end the week. That's all I
Put it
can
on there
say.
so you can see the
I
dog.
love this little guy.
I know.
Let's
I
see
love
the
it
dog.
too.
Thank you so much, Craig Feldman. Simply Put, you can find it at Amazon and CraigFeldmanMusic.net.
Bob Feldman.
Bob Feldman, I'm sorry. Craig Strang, Bob Feldman. BobFeldmanMusic.net. Simply Put, more to come. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Andrea,
Yes.
thank you so much.
Absolutely.
A
Blown
little,
away.
a little treat for you. See, you never know who's coming.
I
didn't even
know.
know they were
I
coming.
know. I'm over here like,
What a great set. You guys, fantastic, truly
Thank
an
you.
inspiration.
You made my week.
You,
Guys are-
you made
thank
ours
you.
as well.
Yeah,
what a great way to
And you
kick
have
off
a,
the
you
new
have
year.
a home here. Never, you say you want to. Well, maybe we try something back there. Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Hey,
never
we
know.
collaborate right there in the garage.
Absolutely.
never
And
know.
we're in the middle of converting that, which is why you see the ladders. There's going to be
Yeah.
artwork. Different artists are going to be coming and making that
Great
their
event
gallery.
room.
We've got kids' events.
Yeah.
Now we
We've
gotta
got a lot
pack
of
all
things
this
going
shit up.
on.
Yes.
That's what you got me.
Yes, you do.
There you
Very
go.
nice stuff. Listen, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend, everyone. Be kind to each other. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place, right here in our studio coming out. Andrea, thank you. All of you guys, great week.
And don't be late.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Let's all welcome a new sponsor to the show. It's AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet TV radio production company, discover AMP2 TV, a full-service production company that can provide all streaming videos in studio or remotely. They offer web page development, and they use all the latest platforms to help make all your business selling points more powerful. They can do remotes or live radio streaming as well as tape productions for social media platforms and television. AMP2 TV can handle all of your television needs, including closed caption for a perfect on-air telecast. Choose from a variety of creative TV and radio packages or visit one of their many studios to get your creative juices flowing. Come and see why AMP2 TV works with many major companies, including Comcast, Bravo, and Fox 29, as well as individuals and businesses of all types and sizes. To see samples of their work or to find out more, visit their website at amp2.tv. That's AMP, the number 2.tv, or call them at 866-224-5422. Feel free to call for a quote or just a consult of how to put your business on a social media platform or radio platform, or just doing a show that is covered by all platforms. Call 866-224-5422 and make an appointment. That's 866-224-5422.